So, okay, my fix yesterday wasn't perfect, okay? So there was some complications, all right? It's not broken necessarily, it's just that because there's not this perfect fit, I was, shaking it, trying to get up to the maximum, the end of the quest mode to unlock the master tag. Because as pointed out by Connor, the digital pets don't tend to save when they sleep or when they connect, it's only when they evolve, and in devices like the XL or the Pendulum X, not even when they die. And you know what that means? That means that when we did reset yesterday, that wasn't just Grandis Quagamon, that was Grandis Quagamon day 1. They didn't have the master tag, so I was going back through the quest mode, right? So I get down to the end. I get down to Omegamon again, Omegamon X, and I go to shake it, and it goes, whee, out of my hand, just like that. It was exactly, the sound effects was whee, and it fell down, and it fell on the carpet, and it jogged it a bit, and I heard a beep, and it reset, and I was like, well, okay, God, now it's going to reset back to Grandis Quagamon day 1 again, and I looked, and this part was kind of like open a bit, because like I said, because of this imperfect seal from the wires inside being too big, it didn't hold perfectly when it fell. So that was no big deal, right? It's not a big deal. So when I reset it, though, Grandis Quagamon immediately entered into a fridge state, and I assume that means that's like the bad death. That's when they die and they don't leave behind an egg, and I was like, well, what the heck? So I hit this little button, and I reset it again, and when I enter it, and then I do this, and I hit load, and it says, okay. For those in the back, it said, so it just completely like corrupted our save or something, or reset our progress, so yeah. Big success, Kakujo! Big success! On the plus side, though, we really didn't lose out on much. In this run, we could just do a Dodomon line, grind up our items again, and then in the next run, we do our Death X line, and then we're all done, bada bing! Unless we wanted to see, like, Metal Seadramon and all that kind of stuff, which I'm totally down for. This device, now that it has sound, is really cool. Sam Krieger did kind of make me worry, because on one hand, he said congrats and thanks for saving me time and effort, but on the other hand, he was like, don't be surprised if it wakes you up at 3 a.m. wanting a fight. Does it do that? Is this like the Digivice I see where randomly it'll wake up at 1 in the morning and whine about stuff? Because I hope it doesn't do that. I'm gonna have to put it back on its little chain. Where's its little chain? Little chain? Little chain? Ah-ha-ha! Little chain! I'm gonna have to start wearing this around my neck now because I actually don't know what it sounds like when it calls out for fights. I have heard it like 3 feet away or so being like, hey, well, and I assume that's it. No, you believe me, right? You know how ridiculous the sounds on this thing are. They're really cool and unique, but a lot of the times when you fight a monster, I think they're trying to emulate a roar with a really high-pitched speaker. So, I'll face Metal Greymon X, and instead of being like, Metal Greymon, it goes, That's what it sounds like. So don't regret the loss. There are still more Digivolutions to see. We're not really losing out on time. We're just rearranging the order in which we do things. We were going to do the Death X Dodomon line, and then possibly later we would do the Dodomon line. Now we're just kind of doing the Dodomon line first, and then the Death line second. So yeah, let's all try to have good attitudes about it, eh? Okay, no load, no thank you. Okay, here we go. We start off with the basic egg. So instead of like with the Agumon X line, we're going to try to get the Dodomon line, which actually requires good care. This is the one where we don't want to make mistakes. You don't suppose there are any benefits of shaking 100 times before they hatch, do you? Maybe I should shake 100 times. I don't know! Huh? Is he doing it? Is it going? Okay, maybe I shook it too much. Are you okay? Or are you lit? I think I got a bonus. I think before it took a lot longer to hatch. Oh man, the sounds are just... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just such a chatterbox, but this... That's seriously the same call that Metal Greymon X does. What's going on here? Well, we're back to them being completely empty. On the plus side, I am able to hear what they need, and... Oh, you just... Gotta make this hard, don't you? Eat your dang Wheaties. Stop it. There they go, they only need 4. So just to verify, we're back to the original... Yeah, we completely reset with our items. That's unfortunate. But here we go, we gotta shake a nice 23. Is it 3? Oh, nice. This bodes well. I've become so used to this pendulum at this point. It's almost like the last run was a good set of training wheels, And we've rolled a 5. That'll give us 3. Look at that. 3! Well, 3 times 3 is 9, so 9! 9 bubbles! As for the imperfect wire size issue, I have ordered some new wires. I figured since there wasn't like a rush on this, because we do need to wait until they evolve before it actually apparently saves, so I'll wait until I have the wires in my hand, and then, once they evolve, I'll immediately take them apart and then replace it with smaller wires. Apparently, the wires that I use are a 24 gauge, whereas for things like this, you would want to use something more like a 30 gauge. It makes sense. The other wires that were inside were quite a bit smaller, so I think that should fix it. But for now, it's functional. And as long as I don't drop it, apparently, it'll be fine until the wires get in the mail. 23 again. Oh my god! I've just gotten too good at this thing, which it bodes well for us. This will be a streamlined... Oh, that's a 1. This will be a streamlined series, I was about to say. This will be so much more smooth than the last run I was about to say. Okay, so another plus on taking this thing apart and actually investigating the insides, I learned that the pendulum does have a pretty tight spring in this device, and every time you hear a click, that is a count for a shake. In the other devices, you know, there's a lot of loose things going on, and sometimes if you shakes too fast, it doesn't get counted. This thing is very accurate. The pendulum is almost too accurate. But at least once we learn that, we know that when we hear 23 clicks, that's 23 shakes. And so that knowing that is great, because I was conditioned from like the D2 and the D3 to not even pay attention to the clicks. There's always like a little bit of discrepancy, right? But not with this thing. And that's actually good. So to give you an idea of what we're going to have to do to get Dodomon and their line successfully, like I said, we're going to need to do things well, but specifically, we're going to have to make an increasingly, or I guess a decreasing number of care mistakes per evolution line. So like between Dodomon up into Dodogamon, we only can make like 4 care mistakes, and then from Dodogamon to Dodogreymon, we can make 3 mistakes, and then, you guessed it, from Dodogreymon to Dodogoramon, we can only make 2 care mistakes. We also need to keep our win ratio in an increasing rate as well. With Dodomon to Dodogamon, I think it's like 60%, then the next form is 70%, the next form is 80% win ratio. That's gonna be kind of scary. I'm gonna have to just like quest scum over and over again until we get Dodogoramon, and then of course we're gonna run through the quest. We're gonna kick Omegamon X's butt. We're gonna get the master tag, and then the next run, well, the next run actually doesn't use the master tag, but it's still a good thing to have. And then the next run we'll have lots of zombie meat, and we'll have the dead version of Dodomon. I'm so glad that we have the sound working. I'm so glad we figured this out. I'm so glad that I can play a proper Pendulum X run and share it with you all. That's all for today, though. Don't forget to enter the giveaway. I'll leave the link down below. We'll be announcing the winners next Friday. 10 of you could win and get some pins. If you like pins, if you're the kind of person that just wants to enter giveaways and collect stuff and leave it in a drawer, that's fine too. You go ahead. Thanks for coming by. Thanks to my patrons for supporting my channel, especially Cookieface and Shifter. And I'll see all of you tomorrow with Dodimon, or actually with as fast as this thing evolves, probably we'll see Dodomon. See you then!